Hi again everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another speed build video in The Sims 4. Happy Sunday, I hope you're all having the most amazing day ever so far and thank you so much for joining me here today. So today we are building in Newcrest on a lot that I can hand on heart say I have never actually built on, and I've no idea why because it's such a nice size and it's located in just like this really perfect lot that just has the most perfect lighting. So yes, we're building in Newcrest and we are building a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom suburban family home, and it is from a reference image that I found on Pinterest. So if I can find the reference image I will pop that up on screen for you now, although I have a horrible feeling that I've deleted it, so I do apologise on that one. Currently working on the exterior here, and I think this is possibly one of my favourite suburban houses that I've ever built. I uploaded a sort of like a work in progress shot onto my community tab on YouTube yesterday and also onto Twitter, and you guys seemed really excited about this one, so I can't wait to show you the finished product. If I sound a little bit nasally, a little bit bunged up, it is because I've had the most horrible cold for the past week, so you'll have to bear with me. I wanted to get a video out so badly today and I've been feeling slightly better, but I'm still not over it. So if I sound a bit raspy, then that is why. I may have to do a few sittings of this voiceover. Of course, I will definitely try to do it in one sitting, but if I don't, you might notice some cuts here and there, but I'll try and make it as fluid as I possibly can. So the exterior of this build actually came really easily to me. So the reference image that I used did not have this colour scheme. I merely used the reference image just for the shape of the house because I was just really drawn to it. For some reason at the moment I'm kind of drawn to these wide, slender houses. I've no idea why, because the floor plans are such a nightmare to try and figure out. But I think with this one, it kind of works. There's, as I said, 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. There is a laundry room. There's a downstairs master suite, which means all the kids' rooms are on the top floor, which I thought was really nice. So the kids upstairs have a bathroom to share, and there's also a big back garden with a pool as well. I actually really like the back garden, and I will show you why, because I believe I do most of it at the start of the video. Normally what I do with my builds is I'll do the exterior and I'll like plan out the back garden, but I won't actually finish it. And that's simply because I don't really like doing back gardens. I've been promising you guys for so long that I'm going to start trying to use reference images for back gardens, but after you've done an entire house and the interior and you've done all the decorating, I find, I don't know if anyone else finds this, I don't have the energy at the end to put into doing like an amazing garden. So I tend to just like lazily finish it off. But with this one, for some reason, I was feeling quite inspired to actually do it there and then, which is really unusual for me. But I was quite happy to roll with it because it meant that I got it pretty much done before I'd even moved on to the interior of the house. So very unusual for me, but I'm not going to complain because it actually worked out really well. So as you can see here, we are working on the landscaping. The landscaping isn't colourful at all because I wanted this house to look really quite sophisticated, and I don't know like what I was kind of going for with this house, but before I'd even gone into it I knew what I wanted to get from it, and I suppose that's always a good idea. Sometimes I go in and I'm so indecisive on so many things, but with this one, even the colour scheme on the outside, which normally stumps me, it just came so easily to me, and I'm so glad that it did because I cannot think of the last time that I've done a house with this colour scheme, if I've ever done it before. And I also used some windows from Cottage Living as well, which I think when you think of like particularly American suburban houses, you wouldn't necessarily think that these windows would go, but I think they look absolutely fantastic with the exterior of this house. It just makes it look so unique and different, and I I love using these windows. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. I do love using these windows, and I do end up putting some planter boxes underneath each of the windows as well, as I normally do. These ones are just from base game. I believe in one of the recolors. I'm not entirely sure. But yes, I thought they worked really, really well with the colour scheme that we had going on. So we've got obviously the black and the white, and then the pops of like the turquoisey blue. Then with the landscaping, we've just gone really, really simple with the greens, with the hints of white as well, just to keep it really, really fresh and fun. And I think it looks really, really nice. Now the back of the house, again, very unusual for me, but it is identical to the front of the house. Usually when I do these kinds of houses, I'll do something slightly different at the back, but with this one, it is exactly the same. So I think it looks absolutely fantastic, especially when we start adding more detailing with like the swimming pool and all the pathways and things. It just... I'm going to say it, it's possibly one of my favourite suburban houses to date. Obviously, if I end up doing one next week that I really like, I may change my mind again. Who knows? But for now, I'm really, really proud of this one. So I hope you guys really enjoy playing in this if you decide to download it. But I'm so proud of this one. I can't even begin to explain. I'm so glad. I actually started this house yesterday. And I'm so glad that I was kind of scrolling through on Pinterest, because obviously with me having this cold for the past week, I haven't felt too inspired to build, just because I've been so tired and like, just, yeah, I haven't really felt the want to sort of play The Sims, which is unusual for me. Normally this is like my safe haven, but when I'm not feeling well, I don't know, I just get put off it. So yesterday morning when I was feeling slightly better, I was like, okay, so I need to have a look on Pinterest for some ideas, because I was planning on uploading a video today. Obviously that plan has come to fruition. Well done me. But I was looking on Pinterest for some reference images, and this one was one of the first ones that I found. I found about 7 or 8 different houses, and I've already favorited them on my phone, because I'm just going to work through them and do the builds as and when I feel inspired to. But this one just stuck out for me because the shape of it was so gorgeous, and I was so excited to hop in game and recreate the sort of shape. And then somehow the colour scheme just kind of came really, really organically. As I said, the reference image was a completely different colour scheme, and I was initially thinking, okay, so I'm thinking like maybe like red brick mixed with some like browns and creams and things like that. And then when I got in, I was like, I just went for this white with the sort of like the blue accents on the windows, and I was thinking, okay, I can work with this. This is pretty nice. So hopefully you all agree. But we are just finishing up the landscaping at the front of the house. We've got this big lovely pathway here, and then we just add some decorative detailing to the front, because unfortunately, and I hate this so much, you cannot put fences up to the edge of the lot. So you end up having like this sort of weird gap, which just frustrates me. I'm sure there's a reason for it, but it's incredibly frustrating. Anyway, as I've been having a bit of a ramble, we have moved onto the downstairs floor plan. Now, I was initially going to put the kitchen and the dining room here on the left, and I still do, but I was going to separate it with like these beams, and then I very quickly took them away because I was like, nope, not feeling that at all. So this is just us trying to sort out the floor plan, putting our archways in as well. And this is my 4th attempt at the living room. Fun fact, I struggled so badly with trying to work out colour schemes, sort of like the interior design that I wanted to go for with this house. Were we going to go like suburban? Were we going to go classic? Were we going to go modern? What were we going to do? So we settled on a healthy mixture, I think, of typical suburban mixed with like a little bit of elegance, mixed with probably ever so slightly modern pieces, although now that I'm saying that out loud, I don't think there's anything modern about this house interior decorating style at all, but I will let you guys be the judge of that. It's just a really, really nice house. The living room is actually a really good size, however compared to the kitchen dining space, it's actually quite a small room. And you can see just above the living room here, that is the master suite with the suite bathroom as well. I thought it was a really nice idea to have the master suite on the ground floor. From the floor plans that I have studied, I say studied, from the floor plans I have seen on Pinterest as I've been scrolling through. I have noticed that a lot of houses, particularly American houses, have the master suite on the ground floor, and I love that idea so much. So when I was doing the floor plan for this house, I knew that I wanted to have the master suite with obviously the attached bathroom on the ground floor, because I just thought it worked really, really well. But the living room is it's not my favourite room of the house by any stretch of the imagination, but it works, it's functional, it's cozy. I can imagine this would probably look really nice during Christmas and things like that. It's very typically what I would class very typically suburban with a hint of, as I said, elegance. But I love using this herringbone wooden flooring from the base game, particularly in this sort of like rich wooden swatch. I think it works really, really well. And with the kitchen, I actually ended up going for, yes, these black base game counters, which I think I can count on one finger the amount of times I've used these before. So I've used them once before, and for some reason I was feeling very inspired to use them with this house. I think because we had like black elements on the outside with the roof and things. I kind of wanted to bring that to the inside of the house as well. So this is what we ended up doing with the kitchen. I really like this kitchen dining space. It's slightly on the larger side, so I think it looks maybe ever so slightly awkward, but that might just be me overthinking as per usual. You'll have to let me know what you guys think. But for gameplay and the fact that I believe you can fit 6 Sims in this house. Yes, 6, even 7 if you wanted to. I felt that they would want this big sort of kitchen with a big dining room table just off to the side there as well. So I think it works really, really well. I love doing slightly different things every now and again. I like doing slightly different things with my builds just to see what I can come up with in terms of different ideas that I have. So this is a house that definitely brought me out of my comfort zone with the interior decorating style. With the exterior, yeah, we did some slightly different things, but it was still within my comfort zone, I would say. But with the interior, I'm using items that I don't normally use in swatches that I don't normally go for, and it just kind of enabled me to explore this slightly different style, and I really, really like it. I would never normally go for these kitchen cabinets, but I think they work so well in this house. But yes, you'll have to let me know what you think. They're not usually my go-to, but I think they work really, really well. And these tiles from, I believe they're from Parenthood. At first, excuse me, I was a bit like, ooh, I'm not entirely sure about this. But then as time went on, I kind of grew to love it. It's okay sometimes to not have things too matchy because in a family home, not everything's going to be matchy. You know, you're going to have elements of the house that were possibly there before you moved in. Then you might have done some renovations yourself, and then you've kind of like mixed and matched all the different styles. So I believe that would be what would have happened with this particular house. But here we are just changing ever so slightly the layout of the kitchen because it looked a little bit odd with it being one square back from the space that I'd laid out. It just looked a bit odd, so I'd end up just rejigging some things around and making it look a little bit more balanced, a little bit more intentional, I suppose is the word that you would go for here. And I'm listening to myself talk and I sound so bunged up. I've already taken like 2 little pauses. I don't know if you've even noticed when I've done them. If I've done my job right, you shouldn't have noticed that much, but I sound so bunged up. I'm having trouble not breathing, but breathing comfortably. It's awful. And initially I thought that I possibly had, COVID. I did have that at the end of last year and I thought, oh, it would just be my luck, but it's not. It's not COVID. It's just a really, really nasty cold. So who catches a cold in spring? Like, why? How does that even happen? And it's been a week now. It's been officially a week since I started feeling rotten, and I'm just kind of done with it now, to be honest. I cannot wait to get my voice back, to be able to breathe through my nose again. I've had enough. I'm at my wit's end. I can't taste my food properly because obviously I'm all like, ugh, it's just awful. I'm gonna stop talking about it now, but I thought I'd address the elephant in the room because I can hear myself. I hope it's not too annoying. I'm so sorry if it is, but I really wanted to get this video up today because I was just so excited to share this house with you all, so I hope it's worth it. And I hope I'm not too annoying. I do apologise if I am. But yes, anyway, the kitchen dining space is done. And now we're just working on the hallway here. This hallway doesn't really make a lot of sense. The stairs are kind of sticking out and it's just a little bit odd. But it's okay, it's fine. It serves its purpose, and we make use of this little space here. I put like a little mirror so your Sims can check themselves out before they leave the house. It's fine, it works. Usually I don't include footage of me doing hallways and bathrooms and things, but with this house I kind of did it all in one batch, so I was like, oh, I'll just include the footage in the build because maybe you guys would appreciate it, because it's something that I don't normally do. So I thought, oh well, maybe it'll be fine, it'll be absolutely fine. So we have like the main hallway, then we have like a secondary hallway that leads out onto like the other rooms here, and I believe we do the laundry room first. Yes, oh my gosh, I might need to go and blow my nose because this is just too much. Okay, that feels a little bit better, hopefully. Hopefully there's a nice difference for you there. But this is the laundry room. I digress. This is the laundry room. When I was doing the floor plan, I was thinking, what can I turn this teeny tiny room into? And I was like, do we make it an office? No, it's far too small to be an office. Although it could work as an office if you don't have the laundry day pack, then I would suggest changing this room into an office. But I just figured a laundry room just made the most sense. And then this is the downstairs bathroom. It's a full bathroom with a shower, so that's kind of nice. None of the bathrooms in this house actually have a bath. Do apologise for that one, but I wasn't envisioning that they had any pets or toddlers or anything like that, so I didn't really think it mattered. We will talk more about the family dynamic when we get onto the upper floor. But this is the master suite. I initially struggled with the colour scheme ever so slightly, and then the curtains wouldn't clip to the windows, and I was like, okay, I'm getting annoyed now. And that's when I poured myself a strong coffee, which clearly has not helped. I was kind of hoping that it would be like a miracle coffee and I would drink it and just immediately feel better. Unfortunately, that has not been the case. But it's coffee, it's not special magical coffee. Anyway, so the master bedroom is huge. It is a very big room. I sometimes struggle with larger rooms because I feel like I never know how to fill the space, because I always feel like I have to fill every crevice and every empty wall area, which I know I don't have to do. It's just in my head. Sometimes I think, yes, I need to fill. If it's blank, I need to fill it. I would be useless at building like a minimalist modern house because I like clutter far too much. I'd just be completely useless. Anyway, I do struggle ever so slightly with placing like the chairs and some artwork and things like that, and it's not the most eloquent master bedroom I've ever done, but it's definitely not the worst either. So I've done some questionable master bedrooms in my time, but this is not one of them, thankfully. So I wanted to keep the sort of theme of like the traditional kind of decor, and I think what I try and do with my houses is I try and keep the decor the same throughout the house. That's so important if you're trying to portray a certain style. Even if it's a style that you're not entirely sure which style it sort of fits in with, it's really important, in my opinion, to keep it running throughout the entire house. Otherwise, you're going to have random rooms with like random themes and things going on, and it's not really going to make much sense. Again, with colour schemes too, you can play around with colour schemes. At least, I mean, I know I do, but generally, I think keeping sort of like the same generic colour scheme throughout the house is super important as well. I don't know why I decided to go off and start making this like a tutorial. It's not a tutorial at all. I just thought I'd talk about that. Anyway, so the downstairs is pretty much done at this point, but I'm just adding some finishing touches to the master bathroom. And then we move on to the upper floor. So this is what I built this morning with my large cup of coffee. And it seemed to take a really long time, and you will see as to why when we start with the kids' rooms. My past few family houses, I have not really been doing the standard RachelPedd cluttered, colourful kids' rooms. With this house, I decided we are going back to the colourful, cluttered kids' rooms. So I hope you don't mind this. I feel like I've really toned it back for the past few ones. But with this, I was like, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do this. Clearly that coffee just kicked in and I was like, woohoo, let's do this. So this is what I would envision as a single boys' room. Definitely a child, if not turning into a teenager. And I love this room so much. The colour scheme, the clutter, everything just works so well. And it felt really, really good to be back to doing my colourful, cluttered kids' bedrooms. I have been thinking recently about making some like shorts, YouTube shorts, surrounding different sort of decoration elements when it comes to houses, whether it's like landscaping or choosing colour swatches or kids' rooms and things like that. So if that is something that you think you would be interested in, please let me know down below and I will start doing shorts. I have no problem with that at all. I just don't want to be doing them if they're not really going to be useful to anybody, you know? Anyway, really, really like this bedroom, and when I decided to clutter it up, it just came so easily to me, and I did exactly the same thing with the next bedroom, but we'll talk about that in just a moment when we're done here. But I was trying to find this clutter from the Parenthood pack, and for some reason it escaped me as to which pack it came from. But I found it. It's from Parenthood and I love using them in kids' rooms. So this is the other children's room. This, I would envision, is for twin girls who are children. There's no toddlers in this house, as I explained before, because I think sometimes with toddlers they're kind of difficult to make rooms for. So I kind of have to be in the right frame of mind to actually do that. If you guys have toddlers and you would like to move into this house, you can just change out some of the beds into toddler beds. It wouldn't really take too much work, just whatever you need to do to make it suitable for your families. But this is very pink and purple with hints of white, and again a lot of clutter because I was just on that clutter kick. We'll have to see what I decide to do with my next houses kids room. I never ever really have a plan when I go into a house. I tend to just sort of like go with the flow, and this was definitely a go with the flow moment. And when I was playtesting this, I did have to move some things around, so there's just some things that aren't in the same places right now than they are in the finished build, because I'd brought a sim in and they couldn't quite navigate to where I wanted them to go to, so I had to just rearrange and reshuffle some items. But I just thought I would make that point, because sometimes I think when I'm showing footage of something and then you guys download it and it doesn't match, it's always worth mentioning, in my opinion, even though it's something very, very minor. So wanted to keep this really, youthful and colourful, and I love these kids' rooms so much. As I said, it felt so good to be back, I suppose you could say, because I'd had a few comments before about how like the kids' rooms weren't really fitting with the rest of the house. So I was like, okay, I'll take that on board. I will absolutely take that on board, no problem. But every now and again I'm like, well, you're getting what you're getting. Sorry. If you want to tone it down, please feel free to do so. I have no problem with you guys amending things as you see fit for the items, for the families that you have. I have no problem with that at all. So yes, this this room is very small, very simple. It could either be a guest bedroom or for a teenager. I had in mind that it's like a teenager / young adult sim who would be living here. So it's very simple, it's very plainly decorated. But I was initially going to turn this into a toddler's room, and then I wasn't in the mood for toddlers today. So I ended up just making this really, really nice room instead. It would make a really nice guest bedroom actually. So if you wanted to turn it into a guest bedroom, I think that would fit really, really well. But after we're done here, we nip outside to the back garden just to add some finishing touches. And then that is pretty much it for the video. But I was struggling slightly with the colour scheme in that bedroom. I don't know if you noticed. Yes, back garden here. As you can see, this is not normally something that I would do, but I absolutely love it. Anyway, I will free you guys from my horrible voice. But you can get this house from the gallery right now. My origin ID is RachelPedd. Tray files, as always, are linked down in the description box below. You could get them for free from Sim File Share. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining me here today. You all take care, and I will see you next time I post a video. Bye!